Development Cell of Tolatram College under the aegis of IQAC. The overarching theme for this webinar series, spanning over 3 days, is opportunities, challenges, and the
And I, Bhavya Pandey.
welcome our audience and thank you all for gracing us with your presence this afternoon. Now, I would like to request Dr. Anita Gargmangla, convener, Women's Development Cell, to give the welcome address.
Thank you, Devanshu. Good afternoon to one and all present. I, Dr. Anita Mangla, Assistant Professor and Convener, Women's Development Cell, Dollartown College, takes immense pleasure in welcoming our guest of honor, Dr. Vijay Lakshmi K. Gupta, Speaker for the day, Dr. Santvana Kar, Respected Principal Ma'am, Dr. Savita Roy, Vice Principal Ma'am, Dr. Sarita Nanda, all the faculty members, esteemed guests, and dear students on the second day of the three-day international webinar series on Women and Career in Science, Opportunities, Challenges, and the Way Ahead from 6 January to 8 January 2021. Speaker for the today is Dr. Kar, which is an alumnus from Dolatram College Biochemistry Department 93-96 batch, and is going to share her experience from a DRCN to being as a life science strategy director at a startup in California. Her progression in career ladder to landing in dream job will incite you with how real life journey graph looks like, how you make challenges which comes your way as stepping stones towards success, and finally restating the quote, she came, she saw, she conquered. Dear students, I'm sure after listening to her, you'll become more excited, motivated, stronger, and would leave no stone unturned to reach your goals in future and ace and shine as a DRCN. I welcome once again to this meet and due apologies for the initial technical glitch. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We really look forward to your talk and seeing you all talking about the days that you had. It just gives me so much excitement. I would like to now begin with the felicitation ceremony. WDC DRC takes immense pleasure in extending our gratitude and regards to our guest of honor, the principal, our respected speaker for the day, our vice principal ma'am, convener ma'am, all the dignitaries, faculty members, and students for joining us today. Kindly accept this token of our respect and appreciation. I would like to call upon Dr. Anita Gargmangla to present this virtual bouquet to our speaker for today, Dr. Santvana Kar ma'am. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you.
Before we begin with the program, WDC DRC would like to present to you a few glimpses of the various programs and activities undertaken under the cell throughout the year.
YouTube नहीं कर रहा वो पार्टनर लोग
have mothers to guide us through this journey. Initially, our mothers used to tell us everything right from, child to elder age. They could guide us because they had lived that sort of a life. But today, the life we have chosen, they have never lived. And it is different from like what men face and what women face. Because there is a gender difference. There is a difference in our emotional skills. There is a difference in physical endurement. There is we and then as we all know, that women have to have the burden of bringing up children also, and then we love to give them enough time and care, and that comes at the cost of the time. The time you have to divide between your career and bringing up the children, and then feeling emotionally satisfied with it. So there is something like, it is not only your intellectual skills which are important. It is important to have lots of other skills which will help you to go progress ahead. That is, one is your health, which is an utmost thing of importance. If you don't have good health, you will not be able to contribute either to your career or to your home. So this you can only learn by learning healthy ways of life. And that healthy ways of life is not only healthy eating, it is also your emotional input. How do you balance your mind? How you manage your time? And then the priority, what you give importance to, what is important and what is not important, and which relationship you would like to give more time on. And the time is also like, if the children are growing up, of course they need more time, and maybe they are elders and things like that. There's so many skills, and the emotional quotient is something which is very, very important, because even if you rise to the top, you are still the love giver in the home. You are the one who is going to knit the family together. So still that we are all very sensitive. The men get away with many things that they don't care, because the women can take care of all these things. But we don't have that support. We have to build up that support. But of course, things are changing, and more men are becoming sensitive enough to give you that sort of a helping hand. But yet it's a journey which we all have to, we have to make a path and make them learn also that how we need some help, and not to feel shy about it. So these are my experiences which I have put in, and Santwana will give you more insight, because she and Santwana and this group, who is much younger to us, may have faced many problems which we haven't faced, and so they will help you to learn many things which these people have harnessed to give them satisfaction in their career. So on to the talk, and thank you for calling me for inaugurating this. Thank you.
Nanda ma'am, you'll be happy to know that my whole batch, 93 to 96, is there on the meet, irrespective of the time they are. For Vaishali, it is 2 a.m. For others, because Santana is sitting, so my entire batch is there.
Oh, that's very nice, very nice.
Welcome. 9 to 6 biochemistry batch is there live now.
Very good, very good, very good. That's the fun of the media. The media has brought us together. Good.
Ma'am, I would now like to request our principal, Dr. Savita Roy, to kindly address us.
Thank you, Devanshi. And yesterday was a very thought-provoking session, and I hope the same will be today. And as Anita said, they are all of them are the batchmates. I have got one more request that the entire batch should be registered on the Alumni portal, which we are going to float now, so that you can contribute, we can interact with you, and our students will be able to benefit from your whatever you have achieved in your career. And a little bit of say smooth sailing will be there for them in case they want to tread on your path or on towards your profession. You will be able to guide them properly. So we all of us are eagerly waiting for your session, and therefore I think without taking much of our time, I think Dr. Kar, you can start with your this thing, delivery, and I will be listening to you throughout the session. Please go ahead.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Can you hear me properly? If there's any problem, please let me know. I'm just putting my timer on.
Santana ma'am, can you please just wait for a while, because I would like to introduce you to all our participants.
Sure.
And yes.
Ma'am, we haven't had a chance to give you a proper welcome. Kindly allow us to do that, and then we can begin.
Yes, ma'am. We would like to extend the warmest welcome to our esteemed guest for day 2 of our international webinar series, Dr. Santana Kar, who was one of the 10 national recipients for the Cambridge Commonwealth Trust and British Evening Scholarship to do her PhD at the Laboratory of Molecular Biology, University of Cambridge in 1999. Having published 2 first author papers propounding a novel theory about tau protein binding to microtubules during her PhD, she continued with the postdoctoral work on cancer proteins at Wellcome Institute at the University of Cambridge, UK in 2002, receiving the British Evening Scholarship for a diploma in business management at London Business School and Judge Institute of Management while moving into the pharmaceutical industry in 2004. She was also the CEO of her own life science company, making natural therapies for people with cancer. With limited or no treatment options, Dr. Kar has herself been on cancer wait and watch from 2012 to 2016, when she founded the company and exited with an out-licensing deal. She continues to work on novel compounds for people with cancer in her current role with a Californian startup. She is an alumna of DRC's biochemistry department and will be addressing on the topic, the greatest challenges you will face after you land your dream job today. Thank you so much, ma'am. Kindly enlighten us with your words. I would request the participants who have joined us through both Google Meet and YouTube link to type in their queries and questions to Dr. Kar's address, and she will take them after her address.
Thank you so much for that very gracious and wonderful introduction. And to my teachers who are here, to my entire batch who is here to support me, to the principal of Daulat Ram College who has been so encouraging and makes us feel a part of a community. I'm really proud and extremely emotional to be here today. I actually do have tears in my eyes because it's really, really emotional to be greeted and by your own batchmates, by your juniors from your college, by your teachers, by the principal of your college, the current principal of your college. It makes this journey seem worthwhile. It makes you look back and connect the dots, and somehow things start to fall in place. Because if we were to move ahead in solitude, it would not be worth it. It is when we can find ourselves and go somewhere to, go into a new career, into new opportunities, but take other people with us, that this journey becomes worthwhile. So I feel really very, very honored to have all of your support and to have such a wonderful audience in front of me. And without further ado, I'd like to start. Please interrupt me if I'm not clear. Let me know. This is the first time I'm giving a talk to so many people by this means of Google Meet. I have never spoken to over 70 people or 75 people on social media. For me, this is the first, and it tells us how our times have changed. And I feel as I look, I feel both young and old. As I was looking at the years at which I was graduating, I was thinking that a lot of the audience here were not born at the time that Anita, I, Vaishali, Shailaja, Malika, Monica, all of us, Maitri, we were all studying and doing out, and we were so young, and I think we can all connect to that feeling. This is the wonderful feeling when you connect with your batchmates, that you go back to that place where you started. And I look at all of you, and I think that all of you are in that place, and we were already starting on our journeys. So I would love to be a part of taking you forward and being open to supporting you in any way that you see fit. So thank you for calling me here. Now, I'd like to, I wanted to kind of be a little provocative in my talk, because I think our times ask for us to be provocative as human beings in these very challenging times, as scientists in the middle of a big global pandemic, as women during the time of Me Too, as women of color, as brown women, whether we see ourselves as that or not, at the times of BLM, Black Lives Matter. I think that the world is really at a cusp of great revolution right now, and it does require us to be provocative and to ask ourselves hard questions. So therefore, I've titled my talk, The Greatest Challenge You'll Face After Landing Your Dream Job, because I feel that part of the journey in life is not getting to a place of accomplishment, but how to manage your life after you reach a place of accomplishment. Because once you reach a certain level, it's not that the fairy tale ends there and that everything goes according to plan. It is precisely then that things start to fall apart, that you are challenged, that you go to places that you would never have expected to go to, and that you must find resources that very often you are not prepared to tap into. And so I'd like to reflect on that quite honestly with you. Is my presentation being shown? Because I have asked for you to show the presentation. I will ask for the next slide.
Yeah, sure. Devanshi, please get it.
Yes, ma'am. Anshuta, can you please show ma'am's PPT? Please present your screen. Yes, thank you so much. And when ma'am says next slide, kindly coordinate with her.
Yeah, so I put on how I healthcare entrepreneur and author as my title, because I feel that I've worked across so many areas in life science, and I've also become a writer in the time, and I wanted to present myself to you in these two avatars, really. If I go to the next slide, I've put my bio up there for you, because I do pay respect to all the schools, all the education systems that have nourished me, including Daulat Ram College, including Nanda ma'am, Mudgal ma'am, Nirmala ma'am, Joshi ma'am, all of, they were a huge part of my education, and also my school teachers. And this comes back to me much more today in my 40s as I look back at myself when I was 15 or 18 or 20. So I think this is something that you will look back to and realize the value of what you are receiving many years from hence. And when you look at my bio, you might think that this reflects who I am as a person. But what I would like to challenge in your thinking is that our accomplishments or our education do not actually represent who we are, nor the companies that we work at, nor the job that we hold, but it is actually our inner values that, and once we discover that side of ourselves, we are able to truly know who we are. So that is one of the overreaching arcs of my story as I show this to you. And in fact, I have dug deep into my own social media. I've looked at pictures I've taken, places I've visited, and I've used that to show all of you, because I wanted to engage with a somewhat younger crowd than I've normally spoken to. I normally speak to PhD students or managers in pharmaceutical companies. And as I told Anita, this is the first time I'm engaging with 18 to 21-year-olds across different streams. So your feedback and your appraisal is also very important to me. And I would love to know your honest thoughts after my talk. You could drop this to me in an email. I would love to know how you find this engaging with you, because I cannot just give a merely scientific talk here. I need to give a talk that appeals to people across diverse backgrounds. So if you go to the next slide, I think that's when I start to really ask this question that, we are a huge variety of people, and this is something that you see whether you live in India, whether you live abroad, whatever stream you are in your life, you come across a number of people of different backgrounds and types. And often when we are young, who we are is reflected back to us in the culture and the values of the family, the society, and the country that we are born in. And we can model ourselves, like Demi Moore has she looks a little bit like Mahatma Gandhi in that picture on the right, but really, we know that they are completely different personalities. So we can model ourselves on people, on role models and people that we admire. And this is a way that we start to identify our own values from the cultural or societal values that are passed down to us. So I think asking yourself who you are early on, the earlier on you ask yourself that and start to understand yourself, the better. And if you go to the next slide, I think now this is a picture from Art Basel in Basel, where I live in Switzerland. And I really thought that it took me many years to work out who I was. When I was 18 or 19, I was very confident that I wanted to be a scientist, that I was very clear about what my strengths were. And I think what I did discover in the 20 years after that is that I did not know many things that I loved, many things that I was good at, and that I also had a somewhat distorted perception of who I was, because I would take feedback from other people as being more important than my own view of myself. So my challenge to you here would be that the first challenge is to know yourself, to not take other people's feedback always as the reflection of who you are, but to start to really ask yourself what it is you want to do with your life, what it is that lights you up, what it is that really makes you feel that this is the passion that you want to dedicate your life to. And this is a very, very worthy question to ask. And it is a question that you can keep asking yourself for your whole life, because life does not stay, it's in flow. Life is like a river in flow. It does not stay static. And therefore a decision that you take in 1 year might not hold for you the next year. And it's being comfortable with that kind of flow and change that really, identifies the arc of your life. And I think it's about making sure that you're true to yourself as you take those decisions. So if you go to the next slide, when you ask yourself what you could be, there are endless possibilities. And I think this is what is so wonderful about our time today. We have come into a world now where because of social media, because of travel, because of education, we can really choose many things, or we can even choose to wear many hats at the same time. I know myself from our batch that many of my batchmates were talented across many areas, not just science. We were all undergrads of biochemistry. But within that, there were people who were great at writing, there were people who were great at music, there were people who wrote poetry, there were people who were amazing at cooking, there were people who were doing charity. I mean, just looking at my own batch, there were people who were amazing friends and married young and had children and were great mothers. So when I look at all of you young girls starting out on your life, I don't want you to think that you need to limit yourself to choices you've already made, but always think that you have a lot of potential ahead, and that there's so many things that you can, really choose to do, and to learn how to make those choices in accordance with your true self. So if you go to the next slide. So once we've asked ourselves this question, the first challenge, I think, is to not have a distorted perspective of ourselves from other people, but to know ourselves and then to go out and explore the world by reading, by traveling. I know we can't travel now, but reading diverse influences, different writers, different genres. And really, I think a part of being young and a part of being a student is, of course, doing well in the field that you have chosen, but also trying very much to interact with people from different streams. So I had read this somewhere, that a truly great team is made of very diverse people. So try to have friendships or professional relationships with people who are very different from yourself, Do not always choose people from the same background or the same type of thinking or the same interests, because from this you will learn a lot about skills that you might not have or strengths that you might not have. So it's a very, very useful thing to know yourself and then to explore and to make new friendships, read new things, travel, learn about new areas without ever censoring yourself. So that's, I think, the first challenge. And if you go to the next slide, I think for me, and I would like to dwell here a little bit, the first challenge really was about, being willing to go abroad to study for my PhD in '99. I was lucky enough to get a scholarship from the government of India. My DRC teachers were a big part of my support system here. They really supported my decision. And at that age, I did not know what I was taking on. I joined the lab of Linda Amos. You can see her on the left in the wheelchair, the lady with white hair, at the University of Cambridge. And this photo is taken in 2002, just about the time that I was about to finish my PhD. And we were a very diverse set of people in the lab. And when I joined MRC, Lab of Molecular Biology, I was not aware of the weight of what I was going to carry, because the LMB is the lab with the most number of Nobel laureates in the world. It has about 20 or 21 Nobel laureates as of now. By the time I joined it, there were already 14 Nobel laureates. And Linda Amos, my PhD guide, was one of the brightest, most amazing human beings that I've ever met in my life. And before I came to Cambridge, I did not know that she had multiple sclerosis. By a perfect twist of fate, I became an expert in multiple sclerosis at Novartis when I was working in my corporate career there in many years later in 2009, which is why I came to Basel in Switzerland when I was offered this job. I moved from London to Switzerland for this job. And I became an expert in multiple sclerosis. And as a young student then, I did not realize exactly what Linda was going through, because even if you're a scientist, you cannot understand this until you actually almost live.
Inspirational journey. Dr. Meenakshi Sharma ma'am says that you've given strength to a lot of other people to achieve their dreams. And I think that summarizes all of our thoughts quite aptly. I will take one more question from one of our students.
I would like to add to
yes, ma'am.
if you will take a student of 93 to 96 batch biochemistry department who is present here, everyone has a story to tell. And that is the biggest bond which has joined us. I hope Santana agrees to me. We all are together, and it's been 28 years, and thanks to DRC who joined us. Irrespective of where we are, and all of us have a different journey, and all of us had our own share of obstacles, but all of us have done fairly well, I would say.
So Anita, I think we need another webinar for it.
Ma'am has to give us permission.
We really like to hear your stories, really. I think Santwana, it was amazing, and really moving. I was really moved by your story. And
no, ma'am, we have also tomorrow is Vaishali, then Shailaja has something to tell, Malika has, Monica has, Maitri has. All of us have reached somewhere by God's grace, but we all have gone through a bit of challenge, obstacles, all of us. But
yes, Anita, that's a very important thing that Anita is saying, that all our journeys are valid. All our journeys are valuable. Nobody is ahead and nobody is behind. As Anita and I have shared our personal stories with, with Maitri, with so many of my friends, I just carry these as my armor, it gives you a lot of courage when you hear the authentic stories of your friends, what they've overcome. So for me, that's why it's a very personal story to all of you. It's not something that I would share on a public platform into this level or depth, but I would like you to know it because it becomes more personal when you have that connection, and each story is amazing. And I'm learning so much from Anita, it's so amazing how our conversations are so enriching today, because we are both learning a lot about natural foods and health systems, and it's just so enjoyable to talk with Anita. Even today, we have so much to learn from each other.
Thank you.
That's really nice to hear, ma'am. I'll just take one more question from one of our students, Anupriya. She asks that, what do you think is the most significant barrier to female leadership? And a similar question by Achal asks, what will be the biggest challenge for the generation of women behind you who want to follow your steps? Essentially, students like us who are just starting out, we're sort of in the middle. We're not too privileged. We're not too much burdened with responsibilities. So, what do you think that the biggest challenge can be for them, and how they should be having that sort of an open mind while they tackle such challenges?
What a wonderful question, Javier. When I see all of you, Anita, I feel so proud because I feel that this generation is 5 steps ahead of us. You're so eloquent, so present. I just feel so proud of you. I feel, you're the age of my daughter. Like you could be my daughter, and they're so intelligent. It's wonderful to see this. So I would say that you're already 5 steps ahead of where we were when we were your age. And I think, and I'm quoting Michelle Obama here, who is one of my inspirational role models. And I would advise all of you to go listen to her podcasts on Spotify if you can, because she addresses this issue. The biggest hurdle in your path is yourself. It's not anyone else. It's not anyone else's perception. It's what you think you can achieve and what you give yourself permission to achieve. If you decide that you want to be the first or the second female Prime Minister of India, you can do that. It's what you give yourself permission to do. I think the hurdle in our path is our own negative self-talk. When we say we can't do this, or we're not determined enough or dedicated enough. When you make a commitment to do something, you're going to have to do the hard work and the discipline. There isn't a way around that. You can pray, you could have devotion, maybe that would make your path easier, but you still have to put in the discipline and hard work. And I'd say that the talk that you do to yourself, your inner talk, is what is really crucial to driving you, to giving you focus, to giving you determination. So when you sit down and make a plan and you think that this is what you want to achieve, don't let anyone talk you out of that. Don't let anyone tell you you're not good enough, or that it's not done by girls, or it's not done in this society, or this is not possible because no one else has done it. Whatever it is that you think your dream is, once you have that dream and you kind of assess that you think you are able to do it, then do not let anyone talk you out of it and stick to the path. It might take you a bit longer than you expected, but you'll get there.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think that answered some of my own questions and a few inhibitions that they do creep up sometimes. So that I will tie this in a knot, and I'm going to keep this with myself. Thank you. I would now ask Devanshi Ji to please take over for the rest of the session.
Thank you so much, Bhavya. CTRC. No, sorry, apologies. I would now like to request Dr. Sarita Nanda ma'am, teacher in charge and associate professor, biochemistry department, to share her views on today's session.